Anyone can chat now, I think. Did it work? Okay. Woo! At 8:08. Exactly. I think I fixed it. Let's see. I did. Oh, thank God. Sorry. I have no idea what I'm doing here. Okay, cool. It's working. Okay. So yeah, like I said, what I'm going to talk about on the live is if you're wanting to get into content creation at all, or if you're trying to expand your business, even if you aren't right now, this might just be some helpful stuff to keep in mind with TikTok. That's what I'm going to start out the live with. And then I'm going to talk about some things I noticed in the spiritual community. It is in regards to pretty much anywhere, but it's really, really prevalent on TikTok. Issues within the spiritual community that I have seen. So I guess let's get into if you want to be a content creator on TikTok, what I think you should do. TikTok is really, really good if you do not know how to do content creating and you're trying to learn how. That is what I think TikTok is the best for. Okay. Thank you. That's still very sweet. I mean, it's very sweet. Anyway, I did get some from my roommate's family, so that was nice. So yeah, if you are wanting to get into content creating or you have a business, I think TikTok's a really good place to start because you can learn how you get comfortable with chatting live like this so that then you can move on. And while you're on TikTok, this is what I think you should do. I don't know if you want to get a pen and paper for this. This will all be saved. I'm going to upload it to this channel. But I think that you should have your other platforms all with the same name, if possible. So like Luna DeL Bosque is my name on here. It's my name on Instagram, and it was my name on TikTok. I do not have a TikTok page anymore, you guys. I do have one that is Luna_DeL_Bosque official. That is my only one. All the other ones you see are fake. It's not me. Someone's probably going to even use the name, do whatever they want with it. I don't freaking care. I'm not on that app anymore. So why I chose, I did get banned, but why I chose to not continue on with my backup accounts. I did create backup accounts. I had that possibility. And I knew with what I know now, I could have built a channel backup probably in like a month and a half. I think you should stay true to who you are if you're going to use that app. I never niched, whatever, you know the word I'm saying, down. I don't really, hey, Crispy, how are you? I don't really like even have one in my life. There are specific things, main things about me, like herbalism, nature, traveling, exploring, naturopathic medicine, art. And those are what I talked about on my page because it was what I was interested in. Now, I think, Crispy who? I think that if you are getting on the app, the intentions I had, which was to get my face known so people knew who I was, because I've known for a while my long-term goal is to open a healing center for people who have been through trauma. I knew that people were going to have to know me, and my Instagram was at like stuck around 1,000 for a while. It's really hard to get a following on there and YouTube compared to TikTok. Now, why is that? It's because everyone does what? It's because TikTok, everything is so fast. And I feel like people just follow whoever. And a lot of people will be like, I'll follow you if you follow me. There's like follow trains. I never participated in follow trains, but I noticed even if you do intentionally follow people who are like into similar things that you are. Once your page gets to a certain point, like I had 16.5 thousand followers, it is really hard to keep up with the people that whose content you really want to see, unless if you're like actively going to their page regularly, because it's a freaking mess over there, honestly. 1313, as I said that. Some of the downfalls with TikTok compared to other apps. One is safety. So that is why when I have kids, this is going to be the one thing I'm going to be a huge stickler about. They're not going to be allowed, if TikTok's still around. I don't think it will be by then, but they wouldn't be allowed to use TikTok after what I've seen on there. I mean, there are people straight up on lives, like straight up, not pretending they are. I'm also going to talk tonight about why I think they pump out that, hey, Audrey. I'm also going to talk about why I think they pump out that more negative rhetoric. So think about it. I was telling people, get out there, think for yourself, put your phone down. And I also wasn't really making a whole lot of money for TikTok towards the end. It was mostly about my lives. So for me, I knew about a month ago, you know what? I think I'm going to be done with this app. And I want to get everything over to YouTube and everything over to Instagram with what I know now. Because TikTok, even as a creator, is a time waster after a while. So it's kind of like chasing the dragon. And they do this intentionally. It's why I say TikTok reminds me of gambling. So your first couple videos, you get a bunch of views and you're like, wow, this is so easy. And then you don't get very many for a while. And then you have one day, one video that really blows up. And if you're like persistent and then you're like, oh, I'm going to go on the creator fund. I'm going to get all this money. Hank Green talks about this. You can go see his YouTube, but I'm going to break it down real quick. YouTube, you can make upwards of $3 to $5 a view if you're using ads. So my page that had, I think it was like 500,000 views on all my videos by the end. So let's say that was on here and I got paid, I had that many views. Now there's a reason you don't get to that many that quickly. But over there, the creator fund, it is just a set amount every year that they have to disperse to the creators. And so if they have 1 million more people become a creator, there's less funds. I made $30 in the creator fund out of like 500,000 views on my videos the entire time I was a content creator on TikTok. And that's 500,000 views. I know. It's nothing. And then the gifts that are sent on TikTok, which is why I want to get to 1,000 on here. They don't take as much. They take a lot of money. So to even cash out that money is more, they take some out for that. And then the gifts that you guys would gift, like that you guys gift to people on lives, I'm sure you know, we only received half of that amount of money. So if you sent me like $2 worth of gifts, I received $1. That's how TikTok works. So it's really about them making money. And then you try really hard. That's why you see all those people who are like, I post 6 times a day. Do you know how much freaking time that is? It's a long time. And then you read these articles everywhere and they hide the ones that say, realistically, you're not going to make a lot of money in the creator fund. Please don't get your hopes up. Please, please, please. And I see, if you search how much money can I make on the creator fund, they say an astronomical amount that is not true. It's something like, oh God, I did the math based off all of these articles that TikTok put out on what I would make on the videos that were blowing up. And according to the math they said, I thought I was going to be getting around $500 with my first video that went viral-ish. And I received $10. So if you're going to TikTok and you're just going there because you want to make money as a content creator, good luck. I mean, it's not really going to happen over there. Yeah. It's not really going to happen over there. That's why you see so many people monetizing themselves and making like shirts for themselves with their logos of their sayings that they say all the time. You have to have something else that you're trying to do as a content creator on TikTok, which thankfully I always have. For me, it was my art in the beginning. Hey, Orion. And then I went to, while I was in school for naturopathic medicine, as I gained more knowledge, I started to talk about that on there. And then I offered my classes, my herbalism classes on there. So people could go to my Patreon. I only had 2 people sign up. So I eventually, now those are for free on my YouTube. Those are on this page. You can go watch the videos back. I never finished it. I will someday. There's some ways like that where you have to think about what it is. So either have a business idea before, or your business idea will come to you while you are getting comfortable behind the camera. Because that's something for some people, they're like, I kind of know I want to talk about these specific subjects. I don't know what I'll do with it. So that's why TikTok is really, 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 really good for starting out. But once you get to a place like I got to, so for me, not only was I not pouring my energy into making content all the time, because just realistically, I didn't have the time for that. When I started my channel, I did, because I was in school and I was getting grant money. I'm good. I did have some good rest. So it wasn't a big deal for me. I could post 3 times a day. I think that was the max amount that I did. But for me, like, my videos took me hours to make, because you guys saw some of mine. I did really cool digital edits. I took all of my footage traveling. So I think it's a great place to start and get comfortable, because on TikTok too, you can make it so that your contacts can't see you, which is nice. I had none of the people that I knew saw my account until I wanted them to. Then I started sharing my TikTok. So you can get really comfortable with just talking to the camera, finding your voice. Because I was, even last year, it was just a year ago, was when I first started putting my voice on my videos. I didn't like my voice before. So I really, like, a year ago, probably to the day, someone said, oh my God, can you record your voice over the words that you put on here? And I said, sure. And then I was like, I like my voice. Why am I self-conscious? So then I started talking to the camera. I recommend recording off the app. It's kind of chaotic on there if, like, you have a hard time understanding it, and then just using a video editing app on your phone. That's what I did starting out. It's really confusing with the app. Another thing, once you get to a point like me where there is pushback, and this is in regards to anything in life. So someone harassing me constantly, mass reporting my lives. That's another thing that sucks about TikTok that doesn't happen on any other channel or social media page. Someone can just come into your page or your live and mass report it over and over and over and over and over again on TikTok. And it is, think about how many people have accounts on TikTok. I think it's more than, maybe Twitter has more, I don't know. But either way, TikTok just has AI generated everything. So if they keep getting mass reports, they are eventually just going to shut the account down. I was at 2 violations, and they told me, if you get another one, even though the other things that I did, they weren't against the community guidelines. It didn't matter. It was just someone had a vendetta out for me. And even though I had blocked them, they kept making new accounts, new accounts, new accounts. So that's a thing that does not work on Instagram. I'm not sure about YouTube with blocking people, but I know on Instagram, once I block someone, any new account they create is already automatically blocked. TikTok, they don't give a about that. I don't know if I can swear on here. I think I can. They don't care about that at all. So, for example, if I were to be live with one of my friends, and that friend is friends with my ex, who I have blocked. If my ex is watching the live from their end, they can see me and talk to me. That's not safe. And that's really not cool, quite frankly. Also, you can create a new account on TikTok every 5 seconds if you want. Just make a new email account. You don't need to put your phone number in, and that's why people are able to just like troll the crap out of people over there. And then when you do lose your account, inevitably, which happens to pretty much anyone, unless if you're just like making fart jokes or bashing people, like if you have an uplifting message, they don't care to pump that out. They just don't. I have not seen that many accounts. Think about the ones that are really big. It either has to do with like makeup, hair, and I'm not bashing on these things, but I'm saying these accounts where it makes them money through other things, like, or just views, they're going to pump their shit out. If it's account like me, that's like, hey, don't use only big pharma, try natural medicine, get outside, put your phone down. They're not going to pump that out. I even heard of one guy, he put in his, to sign up as a content creator, that he was like a Black man trying to help uplift the BIPOC community. They would not make him a content creator until he said something crazy like, I am a part of the KKK, and they allowed him to be, I mean, they're all, okay, you can be a content creator. Like, what? So there have been many things people have shown where the app is also racist. I think it also just purposefully pumps out negative content. And then on top of it, the way the app works is really unhealthy for our brains. Dopamine, 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 dopamine constantly. And I talked about this the other day on my Instagram, but I'll say it here. It wants us to be depressed. Yes, exactly. Or it makes us, like I already have ADHD. It made my ADHD way worse. And this is because of how it pumps out the content. Why else do you think there's so many people who are like, if your video is over a minute long, I'm not going to watch it? That's really unhealthy. If your attention span is at a point where you can't watch a video that is more than a minute, something's not right. It almost allows me to dissociate and ignore everything. Boom, bingo. So this is what I figured out last winter. I was talking to my therapist. She's like, what do you usually do in a day? And it was while I was trying to build my account over there. I was like, well, if I'm being honest, I'm on my phone, usually TikTok, scrolling while I'm watching TV, while I'm doing this. It is making us intentionally, but subconsciously disassociate constantly. And some of us are doing it intentionally. We know. I just don't have to think if I scroll. So the show that I heard another creator compare it to is Cocomelon, which is for kids. So that show, the reason it's unhealthy for developing brains is if you cut to a scene more than, I forget how many seconds it is, but if it's like every 7 seconds, that is making the children dopamine, 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 same thing. And then they're going to have a hard time paying attention in school or to anything, really. No, literally, girl, it's a waste of time. Stop. Why is Cocomelon bad? I've heard this. Yes. So this is why Cocomelon is bad for kids. It is scene, new scene, new scene, new scene. Watch the show. You'll see. It's like TikTok. So instead of a new video, if you cut to a new scene, that's why TikTok also pumps out videos that where you're like, hi. So I want to know how you guys are doing tonight. Click, 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 click. Like they pump those videos out more too, intentionally. And then what do you see? Tons of ads for Adderall medication and depression medication. I wonder why. And all of these like therapist websites that I've heard most of them were scams anyway. You don't actually get to speak to someone. So the app can suck you in. That is my one thing of caution for anyone using it for content creating. I'll give you more tips on here if you guys want, like a follow-up video of other things that I would do if you're really trying to get your business out there. But be careful that you don't get sucked into the chasing of the dragon, because it really feels like that. And they do that intentionally. Of course, there's articles out there that say, oh, this isn't true. It is. You get one viral video and then it's like, and at like 100, let's say 100,000 views. Then you'll get like 50 views, 100 views, 200 views, 20 views. And you're like, what am I doing wrong? Nothing. They just also know the creator fund is only so big. I mean, I have one of my friends, she got on the creator fund. The moment she got off, her views went up. The same thing happened to my friend. Yeah. The moment she left the creator fund, she had a video go viral to 6 million views. So they don't want their creators to make money because then they make less money, even though they're already making a shit ton of money. Where's that? Oh yeah. So I think that if you already have a business idea or already have a business, go for it. Or if you're trying to figure out what you want to do and you're just trying to get comfortable as a content creator, go for it. But keep in mind, for me, here was my sign that I had multiple signs that it was my time to get off the app. One being, I had taken that 3-month hiatus, as you guys know, because of what happened. When I came back, in my case, it was someone who was mass reporting my account. But I also was less focused on making videos for them because I'm like, I don't really make money from the videos. So I was on lives a lot, and they're not going to pump that out after a while because unless if you're doing battles, because I was making my own money off those lives doing my readings. So they're not going to pump that out. Whereas on YouTube or Instagram, you're not going to get smushed down to where people aren't going to see your stuff. I know that on Instagram, I've sent a lot of you guys my invites, and I'm sorry if it's been overwhelming since transitioning over and just trying to honestly because there's still people who are like, I didn't know you were gone for TikTok. But I'll stop doing that soon. I think as long as if you turn the notification on my page, you'll know when I go live. I love your invites. Okay, well, good. I don't know. So I noticed some people started like unfollowing me after I was doing that. So, okay, I won't stop. If you want me to stop, then just let me know. Otherwise, I won't. So, here's another thing I noticed with Instagram versus TikTok. Now, with YouTube, I'm newer to YouTube. I do have videos on here, but I have never gone live. So this is my first experience with what a YouTube live is like. I know once I get to 1,000 subscribers, then I can start accepting tips on here, which will be like gifts. And I know I keep most of that. Whereas, like I said, on TikTok, they only give us half of the gifts. Now, what's nice about Instagram is the only people who are going to see my lives are people who are already following me. So I didn't have to worry until recently with that being gone and then people finding it. But I didn't really have to worry about, with the FYP. Yes, it was nice because I would oftentimes meet a lot of people that way. And for those of you that are completely in the dark about TikTok, the FYP is your For You page. That is where you see all the videos where you can find new content creators. But you can also see people that you follow on there. So I would say once you get to the 10,000 or even before that, but really once you get to 10,000 people following you on TikTok, start bringing up what I would do after a while was my first comment. No, because they even block those out now too. They really don't want you to drive traffic elsewhere. At the end of your videos, or just put in little lettering, like go to my Instagram in my bio. That's what I started doing. That's how I got people over there, because I knew at some point I was going to be done with that app. I really didn't like how I felt when I got off. Every time I got off the lives on there was only a few times that I felt good. And that was when I was live with friends. Otherwise, it can be really stressful, especially if you were in the situation I was in where an abuser is like harassing the crap out of you. So the spiritual community, let's go on to that. And if you guys have any more questions about TikTok, let me know. But I guess that would be, oh yeah, real quick, I guess the last thing, just trust your gut after a while. Like if you feel like you're going upstream on the app and you're getting a lot of pushback, start to transition over to YouTube and Instagram and really focus on that. And then I would say you can leave your TikTok up, but only engage in it every now and then because it's really a time waster. I deleted it off my phone. Since deleting it off my phone, I realized, holy crap, I really was disassociating a lot and wasting a lot of time on there. And because even with the lives and me making the money on my own, it was still like, oh, well, I could get on there. There could be some new person on the For You page. But now I'm like, you know what? Everyone will find me that needs to find me, whether it's on YouTube or on Instagram. So Instagram and YouTube treat their creators way better. You not only get paid more, but you have a lot more protection from people harassing you. You block people, they can't watch your shit again. Yeah, they were being a bit much. I felt bad when you were there. People are bullies. Oh, yeah. I mean, you haven't even seen the worst of it. I had times where it was just constant, like the trolls over there. And that's the thing is it's a lot of young kids. And I feel like people use TikTok, they're disassociating. So they're getting revved up. And then they're like, and everyone fights all over social media anyways. But it's pretty bad over there. And the people who are being rude, like actually hurting people's feelings, the bullies never get in trouble. It's always the ones being bullied, which is fucked up. I firmly believe that app wants us to be depressed. How do you not allow others' comments to get to you as a creator? Like, do you? Okay. Andrea says, how do you not allow others' comments to get to you as a creator? Like, do you limit yourself to reading the comments? Okay. It's jarring at first. It is. It's uncomfortable. At first, when it would happen, I would get really triggered. And then after a while, I'm like, I actually start, because you guys should read the book, The Four Agreements. This book has helped me in a lot of ways, and I talk about it a lot. But in that book, it says, don't take anything personally, good or bad. And some of you have heard me say this over and over again. I'll say it again. But what that really means is don't take anything personally in a good way. Like, you want to believe that you're beautiful, strong, amazing because you believe it, not because other people are telling you that. If you leave the weight of that on others, whether it's a partner or your followers or whatever, if any of those things get ripped away from you, then you no longer believe you're beautiful or strong or amazing. So you need to come to that realization yourself. And then there's the latter. If people are coming at you and they're like, you're ugly, which I used to always get when I had my bangs, you look like so-and-so because your bangs are just like making, or you have a big nose or whatever people would say to me. I would instantly block them. But then towards the end, I started to be like, are you okay? Do you want to talk about what's going on? Because I know the only reason that you're being mean to me is because you're hurting. And then that fucks them up. They don't know what to do with that. The book is called The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. So I think it was just, I knew that the people that were saying it, they were hurting. Hurt people. Happy people don't go around and say mean things to people. They just don't do it. Like, I don't get on people's pages and I'm like, oh, your hair looks like this. Like, think about the type of people that would be doing that. Clearly, it's someone who doesn't feel good or else they wouldn't be doing it. Now, that's not to excuse their behavior, but it helps me and it helped me to understand, like, they're miserable. So by me also not responding to that, which is what they want, misery loves company, by me being like, are you okay? I hope you know that I think you're beautiful, even though clearly you don't, since you're trying to make me feel bad about myself. And they usually leave because they don't know what to do with that. I actually only had one time where the person straight out said, I am so sorry. I've been up for a couple days. I'm not in a good way. And I don't know why I said that to you. That wasn't nice. And I was like, well, thank you. Now, literally only one time did that happen the whole time I did it. But I do think there are a lot of people who I made them think later, like, whoa, without telling me. You know what I mean? Yeah, someone who's miserable, someone who is not happy in their life, because no one who is happy in their life would go around doing that to people. They just wouldn't. Bendy Roo. So yeah, now I'm going to, so yeah, that's how I handle it, I guess. But I have had points where I had a limit, like, especially when my ex was like saying Rape Luna and stuff, from his name and just whatever, people attacking me. Everyone has their limits. I would just usually end my live and be like, well, that's enough. I don't want to do this anymore. Whatever. Like, here's the thing. If you make a live event, don't feel like you have to do it if you don't want to do it. If you're burnt out, I don't know. That's why it took me 2 days to finally get on to do this YouTube live, because I didn't feel like doing it. Trust your gut. There's a reason you don't feel like doing it. Don't push yourself. So the other thing I want to talk about now, when it comes to the stuff with cultural appropriation and in the Indigenous community, Lee, my friend Moth Spirit, I will tag her below. We have a live event coming up on the 7th. So in 2 days, we're going live on Instagram. And we are going to do astrology readings for around the full moon. I'm brain farting heavily right now. It's the full moon. What am I talking about? About the full moon. And then we're going to do readings on it as well, and then offer tag team readings. So her and I will do a reading together, because we talk to each other almost every morning now. We read for each other. I'm in the near future. Hey, Lee. And then this is Lee. So she's who I'm going live with on the 7th. I am working towards, and I send her little payments here and there, but I am working towards her being my assistant, because she wants to learn a lot of the stuff that I already know as well about herbalism and stuff like that. And like really like, building up her page and like getting her face out there. So Lee and we mesh really well together. I've had times where when I was live on TikTok, she'd be saying something in the comments like, "Ooh, I'm picking up on this too." So we had the idea of, let's do a live event together where we will start out by going over astrology signs and how the full moon is going to affect them, and then some card pulls for that. And then we're going to talk about some things within the spiritual community some of them I'm just going to bring up today, but we're mostly going to talk about like ways to respect the Indigenous community, and ways that can disrespect the Indigenous community, and how to, other things in the spiritual journey, I guess. It's going to be a couple things we're going to talk about. So one of the things I want to talk about that I observed on TikTok in the spiritual community, a lot of people see readers. Now, those of you that know me and have known me for a while know that when I got into doing readings on lives, I didn't want to. I didn't. I would go live and I would be painting or sewing or drawing, and I had my head down. So it looked like I was shuffling cards, I guess. And people would come in and be like, "Hey, can you tell me if Thomas is leaving me?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? I don't know a Thomas." Like, probably wasn't very nice. But my friend was like, "Luna, they think you're doing readings." And I was like, how do they even know? I don't advertise that I do readings on TikTok. Nobody on there knew. Like, I kept that very separate from my Instagram account. And then my other friend was like, "Dude, this is a sign, like, do readings on TikTok." And I was like, I don't want to, because there's so many scammers on here, and I just do not relate to the way that people do readings on here. I just don't. And my friend was like, "Obviously, that's why you're being asked to do it, because the way you do readings are differently." And I was like, "But my readings are long. Like, no one can sit for longer than like a minute anymore." And she was like, "The right people will come. Just go live." So I did. And that is what catapulted me. It is how you found me. That is what catapulted me. Honestly, I'm so glad I've helped you, Andrea. See, that was one of the things that I will say when my TikTok got completely banned. I was bummed because there are quite a few people on there. But I trust that they'll find me. Who they said I saved their life. I completely changed their life just with my videos, not even with my, like, they're like, but your readings on top of that. So that is why I do what I do. And I noticed I was too focused on the numbers on TikTok. Oh, I have 16,000 people over there. I should go over there. It'll be more lucrative. No. For one, it's about quality, not quantity. And there is a quantity of people on TikTok, but the quality of people that interact with you on YouTube and Instagram is better, in my opinion. Maybe it's just because of what I do. I don't know. Where my whole thing, it's very personable. So it would make sense that this kind of a setting and on my Instagram is, I like it better. But that's why I think this, like I said in the beginning, that's at a point where if you do something similar to me and where you don't want a bunch of chaos going on, think at some point, is it starting to hinder me over here? When should I try? I honestly think if you're starting over there and once you feel try in other platforms as well. So problems in the spiritual community. Too many people are like, ooh, people make money that way, so I'm going to go get a deck and I'm going to be a reader on TikTok. No. Fucking damn it. Okay. Honestly, this happens in any business. It does. And I hate to call it a business, but you know what I mean? There are people who will be like, I can't believe you charge. These are things that you don't charge for. That is bullshit. Do you know how much energy it takes to do an actual reading where I am tapping into your energy? Not everyone can do it, which is why there is a need for it. Now, my whole goal as a reader and as someone, a guide in your healing journey, because I don't heal you, I heal myself. And by healing myself, I can help you help yourself. That is my role. Don't ever get to a place where you feel like you need a reader and you need to see them weekly. And if the reader is telling you that, then they are not in it with the right intentions. The whole point of being a guide in the healing journey or someone that is under the umbrella of what I do is to help empower people to know, hey, you can do this too. I know right now it's hard and you have so many other things, probably at the start of your spiritual journey, or if you're in a rut in your spiritual journey. I mean, I have Lee read for me all the time now. Before that, I didn't have anyone read for me since 2019. Treat finding a reader like getting a therapist. And if you don't know this, and you hate your therapist, you can go get a new therapist. Treat it like dating around, because allowing someone to have access to your energy for reading, for energy healing, whatever it is really, like, you need to be careful, because one, there are some people who don't know what they're doing. Two, there's some people who are just scamming you. They aren't actually doing anything and they're just like telling you what you want to hear, which I saw a lot of that on TikTok. Oh, here's another twin flame reading. You've been on your journey with your twin flame for a very long time and you're going to be reunited over and over and over again. And some of those content creators that do readings, that is what their entire page is about. I have scrolled through some of them and every video is about your twin flame and you are going to be reunited. They're saying what you want to hear. Also, like I said, I met a guy the other day and he had been going to a reader for 10 years. Now, do I think that it's wrong to go to a reader for an extended period of time? No. Are you going to them regularly though? Because if your reader is telling you that you need to check in with them weekly, monthly, whatever, they want your money. That's it. They don't care about helping you. I, as a reader, if someone were to come to me, I already have a couple people who have gotten readings from me lately where if they were to come to me for a reading anytime in the near future, I would tell them, no, you have some things you need to work on first because you haven't worked on them yet. I'm not going to take your money to tell you what I've told you every time I've given you a reading in the last 3 months. So if you are seeing someone and it feels like they're just dragging you along, things aren't getting better, keep in mind too, like if they're saying something terrible is going to happen, there are people practicing black magic and they don't give a fuck about the repercussions of that, or they don't know that that's what they're doing. You know those songs on TikTok that are like, if you play this song, he'll be obsessed with you. That is black magic. It is. Something that seems as harmless as that. And then girls are like, oh my God, he is actually obsessed with me. He won't leave me alone. Yeah, you don't want that. You also infringed on someone's free will. So have fun with that karma. Like that is one of the problems with a lot of these like baby witches and like people starting out in their spiritual journey is they just put all their weight on what one person says. I'm not even saying trust everything I say. Use your discernment. I would never be like, you need to believe everything I say. And if you don't, no. Ask me questions. Like, if you don't understand something, or you believe something is a different way, I wouldn't, you believe what you believe. Use your discernment. And the one time I can tell you when it is always a scammer is if someone messages you and says, oh, your energy feels off. Oh my God, you need a reading. My readings are only $33. No. No. Someone who actually reads and is a healer would never, ever, 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 ever message you and say that. Now, if someone comes up to you on the street and they're like, oh my God, I feel like I need to tell you like that there's a blue butterfly and blue butterfly is like a sign from your grandma who passed away. Yes, we'll listen to that. They didn't ask for money or whatever. But I'm saying if you are, I'm sure you have all gotten the messages before. Oh, your energy feels off. You need a reading. My readings are only this much. They're scammers, okay? And they're probably stealing people's accounts. That happened to me multiple times. I had many people steal my account and they would just change one number in the name. And some of my followers were like, Luna, is this you? And I was like, fuck no. I would never, ever, ever ask you to that and say, oh, your energy feels so off. You need a reading. Those are scam artists. Every single time it's a scam artist. I promise you. So the guy that I was helping, he's like, well, I already gave my most recent card reader that I've been seeing for the last 10 years. I gave her $4,500 last month alone. And my jaw just dropped. Now, thank God he told that to me and not someone who is in it just for the money. Because they could have been like, jackpot. I would never, ever, ever. And people who can sleep with themselves at night and do that is disgusting. And that's why it shouldn't bother me. But when people lump me in with people like that, I'm like, please just watch my content and you will see that I am not that way at all. Now, do I say, hey, I'm offering readings. This is how much they are. Yes. But I would never reach out to someone and be like, you need a reading. There's some bad shit going on. You need a reading. I can guarantee you that if that person is actually experiencing some bad shit going on, it's the reader doing it to them so that they'll get a reading from them. So they're probably like, this is what I'm saying. There are people that are that big of snakes out there that would do that. They would throw some black magic at someone and be like, you probably just lost your job or something. And they'd be like, so there are multiple types of scammers to look out for. People who actually do know how to use magic and can use black magic to make you reliant on them. Or there are people who just pick up a deck of cards and are like, I can make some money now. And then there are people who steal other people's accounts, use that and reach out to people and say, oh my God, you need a reading. There are many ways. So use your discernment. Also, I would get comfortable with someone before you ask them for a reading, unless if you're like, you get into their live and you just have this big, like, I want to ask them a question. I really feel like their energy is good. Go for it. But use your discernment. That's why, like I said, I've only had one other person read for me in the last 3 years, and it's Lee. I can read for myself. So when I need clarity, I ask Lee. And no, I guess I had another person do a reading too, just one other person other than Lee. But in my life, I think I've had 4 people read for me total. Because it's kind of like with Reiki, and why, I don't know if you guys remember, I warned you about Reiki. Be really careful. Just be really careful. Do more research on it. I would say do more research on all spiritual practices, but also, yeah, I don't know. There's just, yeah, and that's totally normal. Like I said, I've been reading cards for a while, and I still have Lee read for me. I like reading for myself, but sometimes it's hard because you can be biased towards yourself. And that's usually when I'm like, Lee, what are you picking up from this? Like for me, like this is what I'm thinking, but I don't know if this is what I want it to be. And because I will have times when, especially if a lot is going on, it's harder for me to listen to my intuition. So that's another thing I want to talk about. I notice a lot of people kind of put people on a pedestal who have more followers or more following or have been doing stuff for longer. We're all the same. Okay. We're all just in different parts of our journey. I don't think that there are different, like, you get to this level and I'm better than you or whatever. Like, please try and stop comparing yourself to other people and where they are on their healing journey. If you are in a place where you still need assistance, like connecting to your guides, and you're just not comfortable trusting your intuition yet, it's okay. We're all at different parts in our journey. I've had times where I trusted my intuition for a year and a half, and then I didn't trust a damn word that popped into my head. And so I had to take a minute. What is your take on general YouTube? I see, here's the thing. I don't watch a lot of other readers. I only did on TikTok because it was in my face. I don't know. I really don't know. I'd say use your discernment again. Crispy asked, what's your take on general YouTube pick a stack readings? I'm not familiar with what that is. I know they did stuff like that on TikTok, like pick a stack and I'll choose your reading for you later. Now, I think there can be times, there were times when I saw readings on my For You page, rarely, but there were times where I was like, oh, that's definitely applying to me. So there are ways people can put the intention out there and say, the people who are aligned with my energy are going to see this. Now, what a lot of you guys don't know, a lot of the people I get for my readings, I'm going through or have just gone through almost exactly what you're going through or something very similar to what you're going through, which is why we are in alignment with each other. Or I just did a bunch of readings for people who are in alignment with you. Yes, discernment is super important. Like, tap into your intuition there and say, do I get a good feeling about this or not? First thing that pops in your head, listen to it. Okay? Start practicing your intuition that way. It's just like when you meet someone in person, you know, those indescribable feelings of just, I had a bad feeling about that person. Their energy was just really funky when I met them. You can do that with anything. That is your intuition. See, I don't like the readings, but it's funny you say that. So that's why when I get readings that come up that have to do with love, I'm like, okay, I'm going to tell you this, but please, 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 please know that you can change the outcome. That's the thing with readings that people don't understand. I'm not telling you, about your situation and your future timeline possibilities. So, and that's the end all be all. For me, and the way Lee does it too, as readers, this is also why I've connected with her a lot, is when we give people readings, we're not just like, oh my God, you're in a tower moment. That's fucking terrible. Bye. Next person. Like, I'm sorry, that's not funny, but I could never imagine doing that. From the time I started doing readings, I've always sent out some sort of resources, like watch this video. I have a whole there's probably like 10 main things for people in the start of their spiritual journey that I automatically send to people throughout the first 6 months of me talking to them, if they are regular customers, I guess. That's how we do them. Like, we will give you resources. I won't just be like, wow, your third eye is so fucked. Good luck. No, that's not how I do it. Some people, they're just quick in and out. This is what your reading's about. But so that's why I'm saying, if you're coming to me for a reading, you're coming to me for a reading. I'm not going to read you one card and you're going to be on your way. That's why I have never allowed one card pulls. Because for me, also, because of the way I do readings, once I'm tapped into your energy, I'm tapped into your energy and I feel it all. So you can ask me about your career, but if your guides are like, she shouldn't even be thinking about her career until she works through this stuff, I'm going to tell you that. I'm not going to keep that information from you, because when I do a reading personally, I tap into your energy so that I can communicate with your guides, with source energy, your higher self, which your higher self is just the you that has gone through what you're going through now. And that is how I relay the messages. So I can feel if you have back pain. I can feel if you have neck pain. What's the divine timing card? There's a lot of divine timing cards. Wait, what are you talking about? Like that, there's a couple cards that are about divine timing. I don't have any cards specifically that is called divine timing, but there are cards that, sorry, I have my notifications on here, but they're on quietly. And I just realized I want it on vibrate. I mean, for me, here's the thing. How you read cards is totally up to you. That's the thing too. Everyone reads cards differently. Now, I have different decks that I use for different things. This deck, which is filled with animals, and I know you all are familiar with this one. I really like this one because a lot of times the pictures speak to me a lot too. And then I have times, I was just curious if we aren't ready to hear something. They sent us divine time. Oh, yes. Yeah, kind of. See, I don't have a card that's specifically about that, but there's times where I will say, like, you don't need to worry about that right now. Just wait. Like, this is what you should focus on. Yeah, I guess, that can come up. I also, though, like, I'll have times where people will say, I want a reading to know if so-and-so is cheating on me. I will not do those readings. Because do you know what I'm like, I can give you your answer right now. If you have to ask a tarot reader if so-and-so is cheating, then you need to realize that something's off. And you need to sit with that and ask yourself why you're feeling that. Is it coming from a triggered state from a past relationship? Or is your intuition telling you something? Learn how to use your intuition. If you had to come to a reader to ask them, that's probably not a good sign. So there are certain things I will just flat out say, no, I will not read you. Good luck. You can find someone who will do that for you and tell you what you want to hear or what you don't want to hear. But I will not waste your money in that way. Just like if I have regulars who have not, like I said earlier, done something that I know they need to do before they can go to the next step, then I'll say, keep your money. Not yet. Or if they're just really not getting it, then I'll be like, sure, but it's going to be a short one, so don't pay for a full one. You need to stop doing this. You know you do. Listen to your intuition. Go do this. But not only are readers different in the way they read cards. So for me, I started reading and it's kind of slow moving at the beginning, because not only when I tap into your energy, I have to decipher it. What is your ego talking? What is it that you're trying to project onto me so that I will say it because it's what you want to hear? what is your higher self showing me? What are your guides showing me? And what are all the different timelines that I see? Because that's the thing too. I've done readings where I'm like, well, if you make this decision, you'll go down this timeline. If you make this decision, you'll go down this timeline. But you can make an entirely different decision and go down a completely different timeline. It is totally up to you. That's the thing people forget. They hear a reading and they're like, oh my God, it says I have a tower moment in the near future and I'm going to lose my job and this and that. No, okay. Well, take a minute and think, like, is that for the best? Have I been asking to be in my highest vibrational timeline? Okay, yeah, I want my foundation to break. I'm not going to freak out. I'm going to surrender and I'm going to let the process happen. I'm going to look for the signs, because that's the thing too. When we're in a tower moment, and a tower moment is when just like if you don't know what a tower moment is, essentially it's when everything in your life. Now, why do tower moments happen? We need to build, just like in a building, a brand new foundation. The only way to do that is to demolish the old one. So if you are trying to build an entirely new life, or you're putting out to the universe and you got Moldavite and you're like, I want to be in my highest vibrational timeline, buckle up. It's not going to be comfortable, but you'll get there. And just keep saying, I want to be in my highest vibrational timeline. And then when you feel like I am in alignment with my highest vibrational timeline, whatever works for you. That's the other thing with spirituality. There is no right or wrong way. There just isn't. Are there ways that make things harder? Yes. Are there ways that can, where you can move quicker? Yes. Are the ways that quicker usually more painful? Yes, entirely. So what I just learned in the past 4 months, well, I guess June, July, August, September, October. Oh, wow. 6 months. Okay. What I learned in the last 6 months, I probably could have learned if I stayed in Seattle and didn't move to California this last time. If I would have stayed there, it probably would have been another year-ish. That's the timeline I see. It would have been uncomfortable in the sense of, oh, I got to stay in my hometown. I don't want to be here. I'm close to my ex who's abusive. This is triggering. But instead, I jumped into a timeline where straight into the belly of the beast. And it was really hard. As a lot of you know, I thankfully, unsuccessfully, tried to take my life. Things got bad. But when I got on the other side of it, I got to close to where I am now. And I would say it was about a month ago that I started to notice, like, whoa, I know what it feels like to go upstream now. So going upstream is, I was temporarily banned from TikTok and I made a decision to go to YouTube and offer lives over there. That first night, nothing happened. It was fine. I trusted the process still. So I went back on Instagram the next night after making posts about it. Boom. I helped 5 people that night. I was up till 4 a.m. doing readings. And it was like, the universe was like, yay, you did it. You didn't go upstream. You went the new direction. And those signs, they might be like fuzzy at first. And you might, like I said, if you're feeling like you're going upstream, just pause. Pull out your metaphorical map and say, where are the signs pointing? Listen to your gut. I heard go to Instagram. So I did. I heard go to Facebook. So I did. Boom. Facebook made me a content creator. I'm getting paid more for my videos on there. I just got to build up my following over there. That's on the back burner though, for now. Instagram. Oh, wow. The people that I'm talking to on Instagram, quality people. Next step, YouTube. Well, I kept saying, next step, more Instagram, more YouTube, but TikTok was in the way. And I told the universe, I want to reach more people and I want to reach more people and make more of an impact. But TikTok, I think, is distracting me. And it was. It got to the point where some of you saw, like, my lives went from having an average of like 15 people in them to 1 or 2. Clearly, I was going upstream. And I was like, no, it's all good. I said to Lee, I think the day it got banned, I said, I think I'm going to delete the app soon and just go over to Instagram and YouTube completely. I go to open TikTok and I'm banned. So The universe was like, you weren't going to do it, so I threw you off the cliff so you'd do it. But here's the thing. I trust falled, and that's what I've been calling it lately. I've trust falled a lot lately. But every time I do it, I am rewarded immediately because I trusted my intuition. Now, this time I was resistant, but as soon as I got banned, I had a moment, I let it out, and then I was like, all right, what am I supposed to focus on now? Making my herbal medicine products, Instagram, YouTube, myself, that's first. Put that first. And then my art and my website. So that is what I'm doing. I had a whole nother thing I was doing with TikTok, which probably took up half my time. So if you're asking for a new life and things start falling off around you, friends start leaving, relationships end, just know you're asking for a new life that's going to happen. Does it make it any less uncomfortable? No. But if you just have that knowingness that I want to be in my highest vibrational timeline, so things are going to be uncomfortable, have that awareness. Yes, it doesn't make it any easier in the moment. Allow yourself to be human when things are hard. You know, a lot of times I notice people get into the spiritual journey and they think that they have to be like perfect. That is the farthest from the fucking truth. That is when your spiritual ego dies, okay? Because people are like, I had an ego death. I have no more ego. Impossible, because you're a human. Humans have egos. Now that means you have a spiritual ego. What's going to happen next? That spiritual ego will die, and then you will not try to push your ego away, but you will acknowledge your ego and say, well, I don't want to live making decisions based off my ego, but I can acknowledge it's there. Just like your shadow side. You don't shove your shadow side away. The more you do that, the louder it gets, the more attention it wants. Your shadow side also has to do with inner child, all of that stuff. And that's where shadow work comes in. You want to incorporate your shadow side with your light side. Everything isn't all love and light. It's not. We are like yin yang. We are made up of energy, and there's a balance of energy, divine feminine, divine masculine energy, yin yang, like lightness, dark. And to have a balance is to have both, be in the energy of both. If you don't know divine feminine, divine masculine energy, you can look that up, go through and read multiple articles about it. I wouldn't read one on Allure magazine or something. I would find some spiritual person or multiple blogs on it, just so you can, understand what that means a little bit more and what it means to be in an unhealed feminine or an unhealed masculine energy. Because you can be in both, or you can be in a very unhealed masculine energy, a very unhealed feminine energy. This has nothing to do with gender either. So it's literally as above, so below. Without darkness, there cannot be light. What that essentially means is, think about it. Would you know what happiness feels like if you never felt sadness? No, you would not. So duality is important. That's why it's also important not to shove away your shadow side. Does it mean let your shadow side take over and become who you are? No. But don't shove it away, because it's a part of you. And it's a part of you that's just as important as every other part of you. So, yeah, I think that was everything I wanted to talk about. Ooh, we're at 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 30 seconds. So does anyone want a reading while we're here? If not, it's not a big deal. If you guys want to wait until the reading that Lee and I are doing for the full moon is a really good time to get a reading. So here's how much those readings are going to cost. I'm not saying don't get a reading right now either. Like, I'm totally down to do one if you'd rather just have one, or if you want to book a private reading, I'm going to put my website below. There's going to be a really big caption to this video when I'm done. So the way the live event on, is that a Wednesday? Yes. Oh, I have hiccups. Excuse me. Wednesday is going to go is, I think it's going to be 7:34 or 7:43 Pacific Standard Time. So I'm on Eastern Time, so that means it's going to be like 10:43 for me. By that point, most people in all the time zones will have had dinner. I think it'll be a good time to start. And then that way, when we're done, you can go and do your full moon rituals. Also, keep in mind, you can do your full moon rituals or whatever it is that you want to do around the full moon at any point a couple days before and after the full moon as well. If you miss the full moon on the day of the full moon, it doesn't mean that you missed the harnessing of the energy of it. So about the readings we're going to be offering. We're going to start out with I think we might start out with offering readings first. No, we're going to go over I think we'll see. It could even change by tomorrow. Lee and I are still figuring this out. We both have had a lot of chaotic energy in our lives. So we're just rolling with it. But we are going to offer readings. Now, if you want to put a place in line and make a list, I make a list sometimes. If people message me before lives and they're like, I know I'm going to want a reading for this full moon. Can you put me on the list? I can do that, but you are going to have to pay beforehand because I've had people not show up. So has Lee. Our time is just as valuable as anyone else's with what we're doing. And if we set aside a certain amount of time for you and we wait 20 minutes, that's 20 minutes that we could be helping someone else or talking about something else. If you do want to put your place in line, you can reply to this video once it is posted. You can send me a message on Instagram or send Lee a message on Instagram if you have her information. Or send me an email. And I'm going to put my email below as well. If you want a private reading, my private tarot readings for me are in my website, which is below as well. It's just lunadelbosquehealing.com. I also have naturopathic wellness sessions. I just started offering full astrology breakdowns. Now, what does that mean? It's not just the 12 placements. I go over everything. You can ask Andrea and Crispy. I think Crispy's was 48 pages long and Andrea's was 33. So it is very, very detailed. I think those are also helpful for if you have children and you're trying to connect to them better. Can people do that themselves? Yes. But it's hard to be able to. I'm at a point where I just started learning how to read stelliums really well, conjunctions, all of it. There's a lot to astrology. So, I've been studying astrology since I was 23 and I'm still learning new stuff like Vesta, Chiron, all those placements. I also have one of my herbal bath products available. It's an herbal medicine bath product for full relaxation of the mind, body, and the soul. That's the only herbal medicine product I have right now. And then I just started offering emailed readings. So if you don't have the money for a private reading and you don't want to do a reading in front of people, I have emailed readings now. This is also nice for just quick clarity on something. So there's one is $20.20, and that's just intuitive read. You don't really get to ask questions. The $30 one, you can ask a couple questions, and I'll send you an emailed reading, and we'll just converse over email. All of my other readings that you see on my page, those are all either Zoom or phone calls on my website. And then also I have my naturopathic sessions, and then I have a whole new section just for lifestyle wellness coaching. So I don't know if all of you know this, but I am certified as a lifestyle wellness coach. I also am certified in herbal medicine, personal fitness training, holistic nutrition, and I have studied a shit ton about naturopathic medicine. So I know about iridology, reflexology. It is very professional the way I do things over there. You're going to talk to an entirely different. I'm still me, but I ask for consultation paperwork to be filled out. I am very by the book when it comes to those things. Is very important to be. I even have business insurance. So who the hell am I? All right. Good night, Andrea. Yeah, I'm wrapping up here too. So, yes, live event in 2 days. I will put the information for that below. And then I will put my website below. And I also have my Cash App and Venmo information there. That's how I prefer to get paid for readings, but you can use PayPal if you want to, unless if you are getting a private reading. With a private reading, you just go to my website, scroll all the way down on the first page, and you pick which one you want. And there's a calendar, and you pick the time you want, what time zone you're in. Boom. Made it super easy for you. And then it can be saved to your Google Calendar and my Google Calendar. And there you go. So if you have any questions about, I can't wait either. I'm excited, Michaela. So yeah, if anyone has any questions about anything, my email is also below, but please use that responsibly. Don't just ask me questions about your life or whatever and think you're going to get a free reading or something like that because you have my email. I mean, like if you want to know how some of my services work, and then if you want to put your foot in line for being one of the first people to get the reading from Lee and I. So please keep an eye on my Instagram. I'm going to put that below as well. And you can I post most of my updates on there of when live events are and other things that I'm releasing. So I think that's it. If anyone wants a reading tonight, I do have time for one more like private one, or I can hop on a live later on Instagram. I don't think I will, but I would honestly wait until the full moon. It's going to be really fun if you're thinking about doing a live one. So, all right, everyone, have a good night. Love you. Thank you for joining me for my first live. I think I will do these. We'll see. Probably once a week. I think that's a good amount of time. So, yeah. All right. Bye. See some of you on the full moon.